I remember so many things about growing up in Venezuela. So many good times, my family, my cousins, my uncles, birthday parties. It was a beautiful childhood. I remember the food, the beautiful mountains, the beaches. Venezuela is such a beautiful country, and I'm so grateful for growing up there and all the lessons that I learned.
Aquí va. Mariale, no para jamás.
I had a beautiful life, a happy life. My family was happy, and then from one minute to the next, it was like there was a before and an after. Our lives were never the same again. The political crisis in Venezuela affected really everyone. There's nobody that hasn't been touched in some way, some more than others.
The once wealthy South American country is now in economic freefall.
Venezuela is experiencing the worst economic crisis of its history.
Food shortages have become pretty common over the years.
Hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans are fleeing their country every day. Political chaos, instability, hunger.
Venezuela's high court has dissolved the country's National Assembly, effectively removing any government opposition.
But I feel that for me and for my family, it was especially hard because right around this time, my dad got sick and he was diagnosed with cancer, and that was incredibly difficult. Him being sick and having cancer was something that I didn't really know how to deal with. I didn't know how to go on with my life, knowing that every birthday, every Christmas might be the last one with my dad. And there was so much pressure because there was so many things that were going wrong within our family, the economy, the country was becoming very unsafe, and my life was just never the same again. I felt like I had this huge weight on my shoulders to support my family. I knew I was really the only one who could do something, and it was hard because I was so little. And ever since I can remember, I've had this pressure of I need to work and I need to help my family. And our lives were very strange because we had all these problems, all these financial problems. My dad just wanted to live his life to the fullest, and he was in debt. He had a lot of debt with everyone, with banks, credit card companies, people. He was trying to still live in these moments, and it might sound strange because he loved to travel, so we would go on trips even though we had no money. He just wanted to live each day, and I understand that. I understand that when you're sick and your days are counted, every day matters and you have to make the most of it, and that's what he did. All throughout my life growing up, I was told that I was ugly, that I was fat. So that really reflected, and I just felt that I had nothing, that I had no value really. But even though I felt this way, I had a support system. I had my grandma, who I love. She was always there for me, no matter what. And I also had my sister, my baby sister. When she was born, I was 8. So it was kind of weird. I was in a different stage in my life. I was too old to really play with her, but old enough to know that I had to take care of her, that she needed me for the future, and that I had to fight to give my little baby hope and somewhat of a future. Growing up in my house, I was not allowed to wear makeup, not even like a little lip gloss, not even like a little lip balm. Makeup just could not be a part of my life. And I don't really know if it was because they said no to me so much about makeup, but the minute I was allowed to wear makeup, I just wanted to wear everything. And it was sort of like an escape for me. I could just focus, try to get that winged liner somewhat decent, and all my problems just faded away. So that's why I eventually started a YouTube channel to talk about makeup. I wanted to meet people who had the same love and passion for makeup as I did. And I wanted to meet people that I didn't have in my real life. I didn't have friends that I could talk to about what makeup I liked, what products, what this and that, the brush. I could not talk about that with anyone. So I figured I would talk about it with you guys, with my friends online. Life was hard in Venezuela. It really was. Not only for me, because of our financial difficulties, my family problems. It was hard all around. There was a lot of crime. There was a lot of problems to find food, to have water, to have electricity. It was very unsafe. And it was a place where I truly felt that I could not achieve anything. I felt like I had absolutely no future. I felt that all my dreams were being slowly taken away from me. And I was just caught up in this survival. I wouldn't even call it life. I was just trying to survive. And that's when we made the decision that we had to move. It wasn't because we wanted to. I never wanted to leave my country. Why would I want to leave the place I know, the place with my family, the place with my friends, the place where I know all the streets and all the little shops? Why would I want to go somewhere that's completely foreign to me, with a different language, different culture? I didn't leave because I wanted to. I left because I had no choice, and I had to.
Hoy faltan exactamente 2 semanas para irnos.
Moving to the US was scary. We made the decision. I mean, it was very thought out. We considered different countries, different things, but we figured that for what we wanted to do, it was better to come here to the US. I love the US. I'm so grateful for all the opportunities that it's given me. I'm so grateful for it taking me in when I didn't have a home. I didn't have a place where I could feel safe. And being here made me feel safe, and it made me feel free. For the first time in my life, I could say I actually understood freedom, because I could go out and walk. I was never able to do that before without being scared, without fearing for my life. I could go and buy food, which in my country, sometimes you could go to the supermarket, you could have the money and still not find food and have to leave empty-handed. Here I knew that my power was going to stay on, that I was going to have water that I could drink, that I could use. Those are all privileges. Those are all things that not everyone is able to have. And I already knew what life was like without all these things. So I was so grateful to be here and to be safe.
El apartamento, y solo tengo que decir que lo amo. Y seguro es full eco porque está vacío. Pero ya grité, estuvimos como que 1 hora haciendo tour. Y tengo que mostrarles mi posición más preciada en este apartamento. Y son las ventanas. Me tengo que echar demasiado para atrás. Ya va. Son gigantes. ¡Sí, las ventanas!
I think I felt so safe and so good and so free and so loved that all of these things really reflected on my Spanish channel and on my videos. By the time we moved here, I had had my channel for a while. I had had it for, years. And my channel was never a big channel. It was never a big deal, really. It was just a channel I loved that I had because I loved what I did, which I still do, but it was never something that I felt was a job or a responsibility or anything like that. But when we moved here, my channel started doing so good. And I really believe it's because all these good things that were happening, all these good vibes, you could really see on my videos. And I could share so many things, I could share so many experiences, and have a friend. And it might sound weird that this friend was someone I never knew, it was just a person online, but it was really a friend to me because we were alone. We had no friends, no family. It was just us and our little channel. I worked so hard. That work ethic that I had learned back in my country, I really applied to everything that I did. I wanted all my content to be great, to be beautiful, to make people feel happy, to make them feel like they belonged. And there was a point where I was working so hard, but I started to feel like I didn't belong. It was such a big surprise for me when I realized that there's this huge anti-immigrant sentiment and that a lot of people are against people like me, who come with nothing, coming here to fight for their dreams, to work harder than what you could ever even imagine. And there's people who really don't like this. I was not expecting that. I thought this country was great because it was built by immigrants and that I would be welcomed, but I wasn't always welcomed. And that anti-immigrant mentality and that sentiment is something that's very present to this day, and it's something that has gotten worse. It hasn't gotten better. I always just wanted to create a community where women could feel like they belong, no matter their shape, no matter their size, no matter their skin color, no matter what country they're from, where we could all connect and have our similarities bring us closer instead of our differences. But I quickly found out that this was something that was going to be very hard to do. This country is incredible, and I'm so grateful for everything, but it's not what I imagined in the sense of equality, inclusivity, and support for people that might be different from you. I learned that by experiencing it in real life. To me, it happened. But I also realized that you don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need one person to believe in you. And for me, that person was Kim.
You're beautiful. Should I put some bronzer on? So my name is Kimberly. I'm Mars manager, and I've been working with digital creators for almost 10 years. When I first met Mar, I remember we had dinner the first night and we just totally clicked, and I was so impressed with her because she had this infinite knowledge of like everyone on YouTube and everything YouTube, and it was really clear that she was really hardworking, and just like in a way that I had not seen before with another creator, because she was like, YouTube was her life. Like, she took her job really seriously, and I remember I really liked that about her. She's a really hard worker, and like I like that. Like, I like working with people with a really good work ethic. So it was really clear that Mar and I would get along from the start.
Kim is amazing. She's my friend and she's also my manager. And we met when I was just trying to get this world, this industry, these brands to see that there's people of all shapes, all colors, all ethnicities, and one of them is a Spanish-speaking Latina. I struggle to this day with getting my foot in the door, with getting any opportunity. And Kim was someone that saw that, and she said, I believe in you, and I believe on what you stand for, and I want to help you. I could tell Kim the craziest project, and she would be supportive. She would be there and she would be like, how are you gonna make this happen? And that is so valuable. Having someone that truly believes in you just makes you think that you can really make all your dreams come true. And I was very lucky because I had Gordo, who always believed in me, always supported me with everything that we did. And I also had Kim, who was just ready to be my voice when I wasn't allowed to have a voice, to speak up and make sure my voice is heard. When we moved to LA, I wasn't sure what to expect, but it was great. We had so many cool opportunities. We got to do things that we never even thought in a million years that we could have done. We got to have these experiences that just feel so foreign. They just feel so far away from anything I could have even thought about in my life, because I just didn't realize that these things were possible. And it was really good for a while there. We had the best times, got to meet amazing people, got to work with brands that I could only have ever dreamed about. It was great. At least for a little bit.
Are you ready? We will build a great wall along the southern border. But we have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
This is so hard to talk about because I feel that a lot of people don't even realize that this is happening because it's not happening to them. But there is a lot of discrimination that goes on. Not only in the US, there's definitely a problem with inclusivity where we're still not where we should be, but also within different industries. And the beauty industry is one of them. And a lot of the brands don't care, or they represent only certain minorities, and so many others are left excluded. I have personally lived this. I have lived being told, no, you can't do this campaign because you're Latin or because you speak Spanish. I have lived working 10 times harder than someone who's not in a minority and getting paid 10 times less. This is something that has happened to me, not to someone that told me this story. I have lived this. And when I first moved here, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to be less human because I speak Spanish or because I'm Latin. But sometimes that's definitely how I've felt.
What is tribe dynamics?
Oh no, I don't. This is hard. They're a company that is very important, especially in the beauty industry, and they ruined my life.
So Tribe is a platform that you can pay to subscribe to so that you can have access to a database of creators on the internet. So it's basically used for two things. One, it's used to identify creators to work with, and two, it's used to track creators. I had heard the name Tribe thrown around because I know that a lot of brands use this platform to track their campaigns. A lot of brands use this platform to make their wrap-up reports after a project is finished so that they can track the earned media value of what a post is. From what I've heard and from what I've been told, that's like one of the most valuable aspects of this platform is that every time someone posts, there is what's called a media value that's assigned to that post. When brands run a campaign, they want to be able to say and report, okay, we spent $10,000 on content and the earned media value that we got from that investment was $100,000. I'm making these numbers up, but that's essentially what they want to be able to say. So that's why the media value is so important for a lot of brands, because it's sort of the optics of, what's the return on my investment. So I've got some interesting news today. Don't freak out yet. So it was, okay, so it started, I got a call from and I thought that it was going to be about your contract renewal for 2020. Since obviously that's coming up, so we have to lock that in, and obviously this is the really, really big campaign that we've been assuming is going to happen. So she let me know that you were removed from Tribe, which is the database that they use to track everything. And so I was like, okay, well, what does it matter? Can't we still just move forward? So she has campaign goals that she has to back into with data and analytics. So basically, if you're not in this platform, if you're not in there, she can't track anything that you do. And if she can't track anything you do, then she can't work with you. I got in touch with Tribe. Basically, they said that because your international audience is so large, they have to remove you it's so fucked up. I'm sorry, pardon my French, but it's so fucked up because it's you've worked so hard to get where you are. So for this to happen is really not ideal. Why this is so serious is that every brand uses this platform.
Let me explain this just a little bit better. Tribe is an analytics company that provides their clients with a list of creators and all their relevant data. Many brands in the US use that list. It helps them match with the right creator for their projects. If you're in this list, brands work with you. If you're not, they don't, with very few exceptions. I was in this list, but Tribe decided to take me out arbitrarily just because I have a large following based in Latin America. Still, I am based in the US, and my US-based following is larger than that of many people on the list, even if it's a smaller percentage of my total following. Let me explain. This is Mar. She has 7 Latin American followers and 4 US followers. This is Karen. She has 2 US followers. Since Mar has Latin American followers, her US followers don't matter for Tribe. Karen, who has less US-based followers than Mar, is on the list and gets to work. Worst part is that no one knows where Tribe gets their information from, but a lot of it has been known to be incorrect. And yes, I have a lot of support in the US, but I have a lot more support in Latin America. And the fact that Tribe is using this prejudice that Latinos somehow are less important, that we're somehow less human, that we're somehow not relevant, and they're using that's already ingrained in the beauty industry and in the marketing industry, and they use that to justify what they're doing and to justify their interpretation of data. It's infuriating. And we have tried and tried to reason, and there's just no reasoning, which makes you just wonder why. Why do they need to exclude Spanish speakers and Latinos?
We can't do the deal. I mean, they're just gonna take me out just because that platform decides they're gonna take me out, so I'm out.
Okay, not officially yet. Okay, if we can't get you back in, then she said that they're not going to be able to work with you.
But that makes no sense. I mean, so basically I reach too many people, and that's bad because I reach a US audience, but I also reach an international audience.
It's so messed up.
So that's a bad thing?
It's so messed up. It's really, it's
and the
not
brands
cool.
are fine with it. I mean, we've been working with them so like, why do these people get to decide?
If we can't get you back in, you basically don't exist in the influencer world anymore.
When we found out that I was no longer going to be in Tribe, I thought there was something we could do to fix it, but the calls kept coming and my campaigns started to stop, and I started to have no work because I had been taken out of this platform. That's how powerful it is. And by one person deciding that I'm out, I was out and I could no longer work. I support my family and my work is very important to me because not only are people here counting on me so they can eat, but also back in Venezuela.
Hi, Kimbo.
So, okay, I wanted to give you some updates. I talked to Tribe earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually pretty pissed off right now. I mean, it was a pretty useless call. He asked me to send your demos over, because that was what we had first talked about, and so I did, just to show how big your US audience was, and it was useless. When I was first talking to Tribe, but they had underneath your English channel, it says US and it also says Mexico under your name, which is ridiculous because your English channel, doesn't have really a following in Mexico. Your top demos on your English channel are, the US,
They just
UK,
pulled
and Canada.
So they
like Mexico, and I looked it up. I looked it up and I sent her a screenshot, and I was like, well, Mexico is like, 2%. We have no, obviously we have no issue with you having Mexican followers, but it just doesn't make sense that they would put Mexico under your name when you're Venezuelan, you're not Mexican, and your channel doesn't even have a large Mexican
And I live
following.
here, and I don't even live in Mexico.
Well, no.
So why?
That's what I called her. I was like, this is ridiculous. And it gets worse because after that, going. And then after that, I talked to, and they told me that they're not going to move forward with the 2020 program because they said that they cannot track you in their panel anymore.
That's crazy.
And I'm so pissed right now. She basically said that if you're not in the platform, that they can't track you. So
and they know this, like they know that it's just so we don't have a campaign anymore, basically, just because of Tribe.
I mean, no, they're pulling you from the campaign because they said that they can't track you.
I felt like they were literally ripping the food away from our tables. And I understand if you're no longer able to do a job because you're not good at that job, or someone had a bad experience with you. But anytime I went into any room, I made it a point to be the hardest working person there. The one that will say yes and be like, yes, I want to do this, I'm excited. Because it's true. I was excited to have these opportunities. I was excited to be able to provide for my entire family. I was excited to be able to give them a life and to have these opportunities.
I guess we'll talk later, Kim. I feel really bad. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Mar.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right, bye.
Yo pensaba que iba a hacer una llamada buena. O sea, me iba a decir, ya se arregló todo.
Qué desgracia.
No sé qué hacer.
Ay, mi amor.
Es como que no sé qué hacer. O sea, ya el año que viene ya no vamos a trabajar nada. O sea, no vamos a hacer nada.
No, mi amor, pero no pienses eso, mi amor. Seguro las marcas van a entender. O sea, como que qué estupidez, nada más como que por utilizar una plataforma.
No quiero que me graben.
So many brands said no to me. They claimed their hands were tied. This company was so important. They could unfortunately no longer work with me. This was a thing that happened over and over again. And even when brands asked to include me in the platform again, to people high up in that platform, they would just be told no, that their decision was final. So even if the brand wanted to work with me, they have their internal things and they have things to report, and those things have to be done through Tribe. I don't know why, but that's how it is. So even if a brand wanted to work with someone like me, someone who's Latina, someone who speaks Spanish, they couldn't, because the platform just said, no, this person's not valuable. And they just threw me out, kicked me out.
Once I was alerted that this was happening, I tried to get to the bottom of this, and I learned that I actually have another client that was also removed from the platform. And lo and behold, that other client also speaks Spanish. What a coincidence. I could read you the email that I sent them. It's super infuriating. And honestly, like anytime I would try and put this in writing to talk about this, he would be like, let's get on a call. And he would never put anything in writing. Like he always wanted to have these conversations over the phone, which was pretty sus, if you ask me. This is what I told them. I have been told by some of the brand partners who subscribe to Tribe that they will struggle or outright not be able to renew my clients. I understand that from Tribe's POV, their US following appears small relative to their Mexico audience. However, they ultimately do still have a US following, and they are US based. If you isolate their US audience alone, those audiences are larger than many of the entire audiences of some of the creators that will be kept on your US panel. The end result of moving them off of a US panel will significantly hurt their business, cut off access to them for major brands, and ultimately punishes these women for having followers in Spanish-speaking countries. I said it's always been a harder climb to educate brands on the importance of inclusion and diversity in their campaigns. The industry has thankfully come a long way in that time, but for Tribe to make this shift to creators who do still influence US-based audiences will be a major blow and a disappointing setback to some very amazing women of color who have already worked so hard to be here. I found out that it wasn't just women who speak Spanish, but there were a couple other creators who speak Arabic that were also being removed. And I mean, they're these are like US-based creators. For whatever reason, they were also removed as well. Wonder why? His answer was, it is what it is. It's happening. There's nothing more you can do about it.
So it was so important for me to always be a hard worker, to always be smiling, so that they knew that that time they called a Spanish speaker, they called a Latina, they called an immigrant, that it was a great experience. And from there on out, hopefully, they want to include more more people and more representation. But none of that mattered. Just because this company decided, all my work was gone like this. And it wasn't only me. There was others also. Surprise. Also immigrants. Also people that dare speak another language.
Tribe calculates earned media value, but there are other companies, there are other platforms out there that also track media value, and we've gotten some reports back that show that campaigns that Mar has done have been in the millions. There was a campaign that she did in 2019 that was ranked almost $5 million in media value, because that just sort of goes to show the value of her endorsement and the power of her audience, which is pretty massive.
So many people, so many brands said, no, sorry, we can't work with you.
Would you as a brand rather reach 1 million people, but also reach 5 million other people? Or would you rather reach 200,000 people with nobody else globally? It just doesn't really make sense. Wouldn't you still rather reach the larger audience in the US? And sure, there's a lot of other people that will see the content as well, but that's the internet. It just doesn't really make sense to me. If I was a brand, I would want to work with the creator that had the biggest audience. That's just me.
For a while there, I felt defeated. I just wasn't sure what I was going to do because my family depended on me. They depended on me for everything. So I knew I couldn't just do nothing. And I also knew not everyone has to believe in you. You only need one person that does.
Ajá, 3 canales, 20 millones en las redes.
Too Faced is a brand that I've always loved, that I've always admired. If I could literally be a brand, I would be Too Faced, because they have everything that I love. The way their products are done, the actual quality, the packaging, the smells, and everything behind the brand is just what I stand for. When I first met Jared and Jeremy, the founders of Too Faced, I was just so impressed. And it was, I don't even have any words for it, because it was such good vibes. I could just feel their energy, and it was such good energy. You could just feel that these are people that want other people to do good, and that they're good people. So I was like, this is my brand. This is the brand. If I ever have the opportunity to work on a big project, I want it to be with Too Faced. I love that they've always been inclusive. They've always given a voice to Latinos. They've always given a voice to people, even though they speak Spanish, and some people think we don't deserve voices. Too Faced has always been there. They've been inclusive and supportive, and that's just everything that I wanted. I just wanted to work with people that made me feel welcome.
I'm Jared Blandino, Chief Creative Officer and co-founder of Too Faced Cosmetics. Mar, to me, is the real deal. She's authentic. She's got a huge heart. She's super talented. I just can't say enough great things about her. I mean, in our business, it's not always easy to find authenticity, and she's authentic. What you see is what you get. Her heart is so big. She wants you to win. She's a girl's girl. I just really am so proud to call her a friend. And I think that her unique voice and her platform that she has on social media is such a positive one. She mixes in humor, truth, education. She teaches us a lot, not just how to do makeup, but how to live a great, colorful, vibrant life. And her heart is just so big. And for me, she's just one of the best in the biz. Another thing I love about Mar is her love for animals. We both love our pups. We love innocence. We love people. We love people who might not be as fortunate as us, and we want them to succeed. She roots for you. She wants you to win. And that's what I'm all about. That's what Too Faced is all about. So we're the perfect partnership. And for me, you know, in this industry, I've been through a lot. And, you know, you have friends in the industry, but I have to tell you, Mar's a real friend. She'll come to your defense. She will back you up. She knows your truth. She's going to make sure everyone else knows that truth. And if people get you wrong or want to twist things around, she's not going to let it happen. She's that friend we all wish we had, and I've got her, and I'm so grateful for it. And I love her so much. I'm so thrilled for her success.
We went to a Too Faced party, and Jared was there, Jeremy was there, Summer was there, and these are all amazing people. And every time that I get to talk to them, I am just in awe. They're so smart. I look up to them so much. So that's why you will probably understand my reaction when at this party, they all come together and they tell me, we want to work with you. And I was in shock. I was in such shock. I was just like, oh, okay, that's fine. Because I couldn't believe that's what was happening. I couldn't believe that these people who are just incredible. I mean, I have no words to describe what they've done for someone like me, someone with very low self-esteem, and then through the power of makeup, you get to feel beautiful. And these products, you hold them and you can tell they've been done with so much work and so much love. I had felt so down and like I had absolutely no value. I have been told no so many times. No, you don't belong here. No, you can't do this. No, you're not good enough. And when Jared told me the news, I just felt that was... it just felt like love. It just felt that they believed in me and they thought I could actually do a good job and that I deserved this, and that all this hard work that I had put in, they saw it, and I felt seen, and I felt loved. And love is really the most powerful force. Love can make you do anything.
Hi, baby.
Hola, Gordi Mariale.
Hola, Gordi Mariale.
Todos los que estamos viendo esto y no estamos aquí en este momento, nos envidiamos a Gordi Mariale del pasado. ¡Ay, me caso!
¡Cumpleaños feliz!
I was so happy, and I was really looking forward to working with this man that every time I've ever been in a room with him, I just want him to talk and I just want to listen, because I admire what he's done so much, what him and Jeremy have done, building such an incredible brand from zero, and a brand that empowers women the way that it does. I was just so happy, and honestly a little like, why? Why would you want to work with me?
Our collaboration was a really spectacular event for me. I've always been a fan of Mar, I mean, way before I met her. And when we became friends, of course, it just fulfilled every wish and fantasy I ever had. She is a great friend, she's loyal, she's just so dynamic and so true. That's the only way I'll collaborate. I don't collaborate with people based on their numbers or based on any kind of, I don't know, really business perspective. My collaborations always start with love, admiration, and friendship. And for me, Mars was one of the best I've ever done. She was so great. Actually, the thing I loved about our palette that we did together is that Mar had such a vision, and I love that collaboration. So I had an idea, but when I got to sit there and work through the colors with Mar, she just was so not just into the textures, the colors. She was into the look of the palette, the way they were arranged. Just every single aspect, from the photo shoot to the packaging to the product. You got Mars stamp on every single item, and I love that because it just made it so much better. I love her like spicy, vibrant energy, and that's in the palette. She taught me some stuff on how to mix these like really vibrant colors with very neutrals and how she makes that work for every day. Because sometimes, you know, especially like artistry palettes, they can be a little hard to use. Her palette is so easy to use. My mom loves it. I actually put it into my mother's hands and said, Mom, what do you think of this? She didn't even use brushes. She just got her finger, went right in, and she looked amazing. And that's the mark of true talent, is when you can use the colors of the rainbow, but ultimately create a palette that will service your fans and your clients, and that they'll be able to live in and love and wear every day and look amazing and feel confident in it. And that's Mar, right? Confidence, love, energy, fun, talent, life. And that's what's in our palette.
Creating a palette with Jarrett is the most precious thing I have ever done in my life. Watching him at work and watching him what he does, it's just magic. When we had the first opportunity to sit down and talk about our palette and what we wanted to do, I had a lot of ideas.
Today was such a dream. We had our first official palette meeting. It still doesn't have a name, so I don't know. But it's a palette with Too-Faced. And that's such a dream. I can't believe it's becoming a reality. Going into the meeting today was crazy. Honestly, it was just, you're in this room and there was so many people there, so many important people, and Jarrett, who's just a genius. I mean, he's so good, and seeing him at work, seeing him actually do what he does, create the magic that I've purchased so many times, actually seeing it being made was incredible. And his whole team, I mean, Elise, Summer, Jeremy, they're just amazing. And I felt so good because I had ideas in my head and I was like, okay, this is what I want for my palette. I want like hearts, I want it pink, and they brought this idea that was the idea that they had for my palette, and it was literally the same. What I had in my head, they put it into an actual box, into an actual palette. So I feel like it's strange because I just feel like this confirms that this had to happen with Too-Faced. I'm so grateful. You guys have no idea. I never thought that this could happen or that it will happen. I don't know. The shades, the finishes. At first I was a little bit nervous. I was just not sure how much I should say, how much I shouldn't say. And they made me feel so comfortable. Everything I said, they listened. Jarrett was like, if you don't want to put this, you don't have to. Whatever you want. I want this to be what you want. And I'm just so grateful that he believes in me like that. I don't know, I feel like not a lot of people have believed in me, you know? So it feels so good. I guess one person's all you need. You just need one really amazing person to believe in you. But yeah, I'm really excited.
They made me feel so good. Like my opinion mattered, that everything I said was valuable. Because some people might think that, oh, you're doing a collab, you just throw your picture on that and some shade name and you're done. And that was definitely not my experience. My experience was being very involved, which I loved because that's how I like to do things. And I was heard. Whenever Jarrett thought we should do a certain thing, he would tell me, and if I didn't like that, he was just like, nope, we don't have to do what I want to do, we're doing what you want to do. This is your baby, this is your palette. And it means everything to me that he would even give me that voice and that opportunity. I haven't had a voice a lot of times, and with this project I felt that my voice was definitely heard.
My palette samples are here. The eyeshadow samples, I've been swatching them. I'm so excited. I'm just like, it feels like real. It feels like, oh my god, I love this shade. It was one of the shades that I was like, I need this finish in there. I just love this formula so much. And they weren't sure if we could do it because it's an expensive formula, but we doing it. I love it so much. And there's still a lot more that I need, but I'm just so excited. I'm so grateful. I love them.
I had a lot of opinions. I had a lot of things that I wanted a specific way. And it was just awesome because they were literally making my dream come true. And it was incredible to be so involved in it. We had a photo shoot for this palette, and that photo shoot was just everything. It was such an important moment for me. I mean, it was so important I even went on a little diet, which I never go on diets, but I went on a little diet because I wanted to be snatched.
Okay, we're on our way. It's 6 o'clock in the morning.
It's 6:42.
I kind of want some McDonald's.
It's so good to see you. You guys, this is happening. We're finally here. Hi, babe.
I know, I feel like it's been like forever.
We've been talking about it. Now it's real. It's real. It's gonna get real.
I can't wait to have the hair on though.
I know, I'm excited.
Then you have full glam.
The whole Kim wig.
Exactly.
You know she wore it? Did they tell you?
Oh, that same wig?
Kim Kardashian wore. I don't know if it's the exact same, but it's the same.
Oh.
And not saying it's the same. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're gonna do it. Who wore it better? Watch. Who wore it better? I'm gonna be like this. Wait, but I have to look like shit.
You look like Cher. Here, hold on. I'm giving your hair.
This is the real photo shoot.
I know, Jamie.
Wait.
We're like,
Yeah, gorgeous. Chin down just a little, like that. Oh, that's so pretty in your eyes.
Alright, you guys, so we are all done. We took all the pictures. I am so sad. I don't want this look to ever end. I just wish I could go through life looking like this because I absolutely love it. The palette, the shades, everything. They swatch so beautifully. It's crazy. And it's just been such a magical day. Probably when you guys see this, like the palette will already be out, but right now I can't even process because it's like a year away still. So I'm kind of like, I don't think this is true. Like, I don't think this is actually happening. You know, I'm like, I still can't believe it. But it was so awesome. The whole team was so amazing. I'm really happy we got them the ice cream truck because they deserve ice cream and more. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna take this wig off and get going soon. I think I need my black hair to make a comeback because this wig, it just gives me life. It just makes me feel like myself. The black, long black hair is just what I need. But yeah. And there was a moment during our shoot where I couldn't believe that it was happening because the shoot made it feel like a reality. Like the palette is real. And I was like, who's actually coming? Who's really doing this? Because I just felt that it couldn't be me. I mean, I came from Venezuela. I grew up with nothing. I had so many difficulties in my life, so many people that said no, so many moments, so many things that just made me think, it's not possible, like it can't be done. You could never do that. I'm so grateful to have been so involved in this palette. I mean, there was times where I had to make decisions on things that I was like, should I be the one? I mean, you guys want to trust me on this? Like where the palette should be sold, should it be available in this country or not that country? Things that were just details that I was so grateful, and Jarrett was always like, this is your baby, this is your decision, you got this. I felt almost like a dad because he was like, you got this, but he's just so smart and he knows everything. So I was like, okay, but what do you think? Someone who was there for advice, someone who was there to really support me. I really felt like he was building me up, and that is the best feeling.
The more contrast there is between sizes, the more light reflection you get.
I think this one.
Yeah, it's kind of, it looks chunkier. It looks more dramatic.
That's
so we're going to
pretty.
turn this color into that formula.
And there was one meeting where we were working on the packaging, and the packaging was a little bit different. Didn't have as much pink in it, and some things we switched around. And I was telling them the things that I wanted to switch, and they were just like, don't worry, let's have the artist come here. So I sat there with the girl that actually designed this packaging, and I told her, I want this a little more pink, I want this a little more up, this a little more down. And they were like, okay, great. So when you see it, you'll know that those little things were me. And I'm so happy that they allowed me to do that. Working with them was just a dream come true.
This is truly an unprecedented situation. This virus doesn't discriminate.
I have today declared that the coronavirus presents a public health emergency in the United States.
Everything was going so well, and I feel like anyone in 2020 can see this. Everything was going so well, and then things changed. Sometimes I feel like I overthought everything with the palette so much, and I was like, something has to go wrong. There's just no way. Like, these things don't happen to me. You guys have to understand, these things don't happen to me. Where I come from, this is not something that's live. This is not reality. So I was thinking something had to happen. And I guess this happened, and it definitely changed things. It set us back. It affected our global launch. But I'm just grateful that we're all good. We're all healthy. And I really cannot complain, because right now I just feel that this dream I've worked on for so long is a reality. La cucaracha, ya no puede comer.
¿Te llamando a quién?
Porque no tiene.
¿Quieres que siga grabando por si acaso con la paleta?
Hello.
Hi, Mar.
Hi, Kim.
Okay, so I have good news and then I have less good news. Which one do you want first?
I guess good news.
The good news is that we officially have a release date for your palette.
Oh my, really? Wait,
So,
but is it a bad day?
September 13th.
It's like surreal. It's, oh my god.
I know. I'm so, like, I can't even, it's like it's finally here. All your hard work.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
I know. Well, I have less good news.
Okay.
So just because with everything going on, I know we had kind of thrown the idea out of trying to do like a socially distant launch party or something where, you know, maybe there's not a lot of people, or how can we, you know, bring protection, but it's just too much of, one, a liability, and two, it's just not safe just with everything happening. So
I agree.
The less good news is that there's officially no launch party, which sucks. But at the same time, like, you know, we have to keep everyone safe, and it's just not. We just can't really risk anything.
I understand. I think it would be irresponsible to do like a party. Of course, I was kind of looking forward to having a party eventually, but
yeah.
I mean, I'm excited the palette's coming out, so it's fine. All right. Well, thanks, Kim.
Okay, no problem. Congrats.
All right, we'll talk soon. All right, bye, Kim.
Okay, talk later. Bye, Mar.
¡Baby! ¡Qué emoción! ¡Felicitaciones!
Tengo demasiado miedo.
No, mi vida, todo va a salir bien. Todo va a ser perfecto, va a salir bello. Todo el mundo le va a encantar la paleta.
Llegaron, son. Mira.
Calma, mi amor, calma. Respira.
No puedo. Ok. ¡Ay! ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué hizo? Dime, ¿qué pasó? ¡Ay, la paleta! ¡Qué maravilla! ¡Ay, qué belleza! Te felicito, mi amor. Es un logro. ¡Ay, qué bueno! ¡Cuánto me alegro! Uy. This palette means literally everything to me. It's all my hard work, all my effort, all the times that I couldn't go somewhere because I was too busy working on this or working on that, all the sacrifices I've made for my family, trying to give them a better future, all the times that I was told no, all the times that I was told that I should just leave, that I didn't deserve being here, that I didn't deserve being in this country. All of those things are this palette.
¿Quieres la paleta? Yes.
Oh my god, I love the packaging. It's so cute. Oh, nice. Está súper linda. Mira, tócala. Está súper linda, tiene todos los colores. Yo la compraría.
This palette just represents everything. To me, it's not just a palette. It literally represents more than 10 years of hard work.
Ya va a estar aquí la paleta.
¿Estás emocionada?
Me siento demasiado emocionada, pero nerviosa. Y siento como que no va a pasar, como que no es verdad. Como...
Baby, claro que va a pasar, mi amor. No es que tienes miedo.
Oh, here it is. I'm excited to share. I'm scared to share. But here is our baby. Everything that's represented in this palette is that you can make your dreams come true. You guys might think that this palette is success, but it's the opposite. This palette is all my failures. All the times that I've been told no, all the hardships, all the thinking about my family, about how I might not be able to provide for them anymore. All those thoughts, all those moments, all those tears, all that sweat from all that work, they're here because each and one of those was a little stepping point to this. And that's why it's so important to me. It was a little stepping point into finding the people that believed in me, getting to this dream and making it a reality. I'm so grateful. And I want to tell you that you can do it. If you ever feel like it's too hard, if you ever feel that you're not enough, you are, and you can achieve your dreams. Any dream, whatever that is.